Microphone 6.
Many people feel that we need to take a strong stand against homosexuality, and many people feel we need to be totally inclusive. But what we want doesn't matter. What matters is God's will. And let me suggest that perhaps it is God's will that we tell the truth, that we disagree. We have said for a long time that we do not condone homosexuality, but they are here. They are in our delegations. They are serving in our churches. They keep coming back to a church that keeps saying no to them. There's a kind of miracle in that. There's a kind of grace in that. Let us vote for what is God's will. That is that we disagree. Thank you.
I'm looking for a speech against. Yes, right here.
I'm Philip Conley from West Ohio, lay member, USA. It's scary to me when we're a part of a church that isn't willing to talk about sin any longer. Sin is real. It's the reason Jesus came. It's the reason he died. There are lots of forms of sin, and this isn't the only form, but it's one that we've been asked to acknowledge as normative when it's not. I'm opposed to the petition and ask that you defeat it for the sake of our youth and the future of our church.
All right, friends. Let us prepare to vote. If you'll take your keypads. If you would support the motion, please press 1. If you're not in support of the motion, please press 2. Please vote now. Five seconds. Just breathe for a moment. And the voting is closed. And you have not supported the motion. Thank you.
4 years ago, the vote was close. This time, it isn't. The progressives lose in a landslide, with the African delegates making the difference. Conservative Methodists feel vindicated.
I'm glad that the church retained its current language, which I think is fair and compassionate and understanding, and it's a good position for the church to be in. We do face a changing cultural climate in America concerning this, but of course, the church has never allowed the cultural climate or a segment of the culture to determine what our basic beliefs are.
But the progressives are frustrated and angry.
Friends, we're going to be moving toward a break. Let's be in order, please.
For everyone, even if we have to remind the church.
Having lost the vote, progressive delegates and their allies protest and shut down the session.
I know that there are lots of folks out there who just say, why are we wasting any time with religious institutions who don't want us? My response is that 60% of gay and lesbian people claim some religious affiliation, and mostly Christian, despite everything that's happened.
Before leaving their Tampa convention, progressives gather once more and vow to continue fighting for gay rights within and outside the church. Retired Bishop Melvin Talbert urges them on.
I declare to you that the derogatory language and restrictive laws in the Book of Discipline are immoral and unjust and no longer deserve our loyalty and obedience.
And raising the stakes, Talbert, a national church leader, gives his blessing to gay marriages.
I call on the more than 1,100 clergy to perform marriages among same-sex couples, and to do so in the normal course of their pastoral duties.
Since the convention, many Methodist ministers, especially in the western United States, have heeded the bishop's call. In Tacoma, Washington, Gordon Hutchins was among the first after voters in his state legalized gay marriage.
When this couple told me that they had been praying for 40 years that someday they would be able to be married in their church, I had no choice, even if it was in violation of the Book of Discipline, in violation of the rules of our church. Wayne and Michael, you have declared your consent and vows before God and this gathering of family and friends. You have told the world that you are one.
This is just something between Michael and myself and God. I don't want to be married like in a courtroom. I want God's blessing. I want to be able to stand up before my Christ and my God and say, here is my mate, and I want to stay with my mate for eternity.
I announce to you that they are legally married in the eyes of the state of Washington. Those whom God has joined together, let no one put asunder.
In recent months, more than 1,500 United Methodist pastors have pledged to perform same-sex weddings. Amory Peck will be among them. A delegate to the Tampa Convention, Peck is now planning to marry her partner Linda in church. She has the support of her congregation in Washington State, and they are willing to go ahead no matter what the consequences.
I think it's going to drive the rest of the U.S. church, and maybe the African church, crazy. I think we will hear a resounding shout back saying, they can't do that. That's wrong. That's not godly. That's not biblical. And I think the West, how do I say this kindly, doesn't care.
Wayne and Michael,